Okay, welcome to this video on integer basics. So in this module we've been talking about fractions, decimals, and percents and where those lie in relation to one another on a number line and how to convert between them. And now we're going to work in integers, so we need to go over some vocabulary and discuss what is an integer. And an integer is simply everything that you see right here. It's not a very good bracket, but all of these numbers and the negatives of this set of numbers. I'll put that in red. And of course this goes on all the way to infinity in the positive direction. So let's put those negative numbers in right here. -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, and so on. These arrows right here and here just mean that that number line is expected to continue on. Okay, that's what that means. Alright, so with all of that said, notice again that integers include all of these whole numbers, 0, and the negatives of those whole numbers. Okay, so the new part to most of you will probably be these negative numbers, but it's important to know what integers actually means, because you may see that in a math problem. And as you continue your education, it's important that you learn math vocabulary, not just processes and steps. Okay, so the next step would be to start applying some of this. Alright, and for example, let's say that if I were to say to you, what number would you use to represent a gain of, say, 3 yards in a football game? A gain of 3 yards. Well, I hope what you might say there is +3, right? +3. Or you can, the plus sign is implied with that just as a 3, right? So 3 yard gain. We'll put 3 yard gain. 3 yard gain in a football game. Okay. Now, what if I were to ask you, how would you represent mathematically a 3 yard loss in a football game? A 3 yard loss. So let's put that right here. 3 yard loss. Well, I hope you said this right here. -3, right? 3 yard loss. And let's just use this number line as an example. Let's say, again using our football analogy, let's say that the 0 point is when, let's say the other team kicked off to us and we had a touchback and we started at the 20-yard line. So we're going to put this as our 0 point right now. So this is where we're at on the football field. The first play, we get 3 yards on that first play. Say it's a running play. We get 3 yards, so we're right here. Alright, so we'll just call this first down. First down. Hope you can see that. First down. We got 3 yards plus 3. Okay, and then on the second play, we try to pass. We got sacked and we lost 3. So we were right here. This is where we had started on the second down. Second down. And we lost 3 on that one. We got sacked. Okay. So, and we said the 3 yard loss would be depicted with integers. -3. 3 yard loss. Right? Okay, so basically we're right back where we started, right? And what you may not realize is you've already started what we're going to cover later, which is actual mathematical operations with integers. You've actually done something here. You've had +3, -3, and you're back at 0. Okay, but to represent those two things in a real life situation, we can use that football analogy. All right. So let's do another analogy here. Alright, so I've erased some of that, and let's do this again. So let's say, let's talk money. Let's say that a way to model this with integers. Let's say that you have a bank account and you put in a $5 deposit. $5 deposit, which means you put $5 in. You added $5 to your account. So $5. Let me do that. Hold on. Let's do that in green. Because often green is considered positive and red is considered negative, right? So let's use green. $5 deposit. Okay, how would you depict that? Well, hopefully you said this right here, right? Plus 5. Plus 5. Because you added 5 to your account. Alright, and let's say you then wrote or used your debit card. Since a lot of people don't even write checks anymore, let's say you used your debit card and you purchased 5 something. So you had a debit, some accounting terms, debit of $5. $5. Okay, how would you represent that with numbers? Well, hopefully you said this: minus 5, negative 5. Okay, so again, just another example of a real world application of integers and where those each fall on the number line. You can see that basically it's just the opposite, right? You can view it this way: the opposite of plus 5 is negative 5, right? And therefore the opposite of negative 5 is positive 5. Okay, you might hear that used sometimes, opposites. Okay, opposites. Okay. All right, let's go on to another example here. Okay, so I think you're probably getting a handle on this now. So let's say I asked you to take the number set 6, -4, 2, 0, -1, and -2 and put those in ascending order. Ascending order. So a little vocabulary here: ascending, 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 and descending, descending. Okay, ascending is always, let's use another color here. Ascending is up. Okay, descending is down. Okay, ascending, you can think of it like an airplane. An airplane ascends, and when it's taking off, I should say, and when it's coming down, it descends. Another way to look at it is like descending is like a decline. You know, you probably know what decline means. That means it sloped down. It's like the decline of a hill, for example. So remember ascending, descending, and those are two words that you're going to need to know to do that. So we said ascending order, right? Ascending. So that means what? Getting larger as we go on. So least to greatest. Okay? Alright, now we can use our number line right here. Remember how, from our number line basics, how useful a number line can be? Well, let's do that. So when you see something like lists from least to greatest or greatest to least, this is a good strategy to use. If you're doing ascending, you want to find the smallest one first and then work your way up to the biggest one, because we're going up each time. And the first thing to do is spot all the negative signs, because you know a negative number, a negative is always going to be smaller. Any of the negatives is always going to be smaller than any of the positives. So immediately let's just mark these negatives right here. Let's put we'll use red. Let's just underline it, underline it, underline it. Okay, and then let's take our green and let's do all the positives. That's a good strategy. Okay, and then 0 is neither negative or positive, so we'll just leave that alone. Well, let's give it its own color. How about that? Okay, so alright, start with the negatives, right? Least to greatest. We can look at our number line right here and see where those are, since we've already labeled that. Or the other strategy is take all the negative signs, we've got them, and which one is the furthest from 0? The farthest. I keep misusing that. I should say farthest because we're talking distance. Which is the farthest from 0? It's -4, right? So let's write that again. So we're going least to greatest. -4, right? And then what's the next? We've got that one done. What's the next farthest from 0? Well, look at our number line right here. -2, right? So let's write -2. We can put a comma between these to keep them separate. Alright, what's the negative number that's the next farthest from 0? -1, right? Okay, notice -4 is farther from 0 than -2 and then -1. Okay, we're going least to greatest, which means we're moving this direction on our number line. Okay, so we've been here, we've been here, we've been here. Okay, next, what comes next? 0, right? Okay, so there we go. Let's mark all these out. Okay, what's next? Alright, now we're looking at the positives, right? We're now on the right side of 0, the positive side of 0. Remember from our number line basics video. Alright, so which is the next farthest from 0 in the positive direction? Well, that would be 2, right? It's 2 away from 0 in the positive direction. So that would be next. Alright, process of elimination says we've only got one left, and it makes sense because it is farther from 0 than 2 is, and of course it is a positive number, so it comes after the negatives. Alright, so a real basic video on integers and how to actually apply those to some real world situations with our money and football analogies. And I hope that has helped. I will see you in the next video. And the next video we're going to sum all of this up, and it will be a summary of all of our discussions on percents, decimals, fractions, integers, number lines, and real world application of those things. Okay, so see you in the next video.